I'll add this one and then I'll come back. You could have the responsibility of being you could have the desire for responsibility. You could have the desire for wanting to be accountable, but if you don't have the capacity to be able to do that, you really in a world of trouble and really beginning to have moments where you find yourself wasting your time. So what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to focus in on the image, and I don't want you to focus in on the function without necessarily, it's all right, focusing in on the image without necessarily focusing in on the function, without having the capacity to be able to do so. Go ahead to that next screen for me. Let me make this a little bit larger. So the question is, what is my ability to respond to the levels of accountability that will be required with the image? That's a question you want to ask yourself. What is the ability to respond? What is my ability to respond to the accountability that will be required with the image? So again, my ability to respond to the accountability. I've got syllabuses I need to create. I've got a flow chart for my entire class of my students. With on the pastoral side, I have a calendar and a weekly to monthly theme that I've got to put in place that helps navigate us congregationally in the areas of spiritual formation and discipleship. Now, my ability to respond to do that requires me to do some things way ahead of time, right? And so as you start to think about what your image is going to be that you want to function in, do you have the ability to be able to flow and to function in that? Look at that second bullet on the right-hand side there. Do I have the capacity to handle what's required for the image in regards to relationships, parenting, career, debt freedom, or financial liberty? There's no sense in you trying to be, like we said yesterday with Cheryl, my want is, or my need is, I need my bills paid, but I want these new sneakers. Now, do you have the capacity to tell yourself no when the new Jordans come out, or when the new LeBrons come out, or when the new Kobe's come out? Back in my day, it was the Air Force Ones. When the new ones come out, do you have the capacity to say, you know what, that gas gas bill got to be paid? Let me go a little bit further. Let's talk about it from the standpoint of investment strategies. Okay, you want to start your own business in your own entity, your own company. The leasing or the rent is going to cost this much. Your product and distribution is going to cost this much. Your branding and your marketing is going to cost this much. The question becomes, do you have the capacity to be able to say to yourself, you know what? I am going to forego a couple of Chick-fil-A meals. I'm going to forego a couple of, rather than me going to the movie theater, I'm going to wait for it to come out on Netflix or Hulu, right? Rather than being able to do what you want, you've got to be able to do what you need. Write that down. Rather than doing what I want, I must do what I need if I'm going to fit the image that I want to fit into in order to function. Being able to do what is absolutely necessary is how you win the day, is how you win the week, is how you win the month, is how you win the year. And that requires for some discipline in your life in order to increase your capacity to get to where you want to be. There are a whole lot of, there's a myriad of examples that we could go through with that, but I want you to be thinking about that as you walk through the process. Let's go to that next screen. So routines and rituals. Let's talk routines and rituals. Let me get into the planning process now. I'll make this a little bit larger for those of you at home. Let's go into that screen. Routines and rituals. Planning process. What now? A lot of times when I gave you inside of your notes the strategic planning process by way of the triangle like Maslow's hierarchy. Okay, that's good, right? But that ain't, bless you, that isn't necessarily where we live at every day. So where we live at every day is in these next three things that I want to give you on these next three slides. They should be in your notes. If not, I may have left the blanks so you can write them in. Routines and rituals. What are your routines and rituals in order for you to fit into the image so that you can function? What are your routines and rituals? Number one, what do I do consistently? What do I do consistently? Number two, how committed am I to the process? That's the big one. How committed am I to the process? What am I willing to sacrifice to ensure that routines and rituals occur? So for me, on the pastoral side, for me, one of my routines and rituals is that 5 a.m., not only do I just pray at 5 a.m., but I come here at 5 a.m. I meet the Lord in the sanctuary at 5 a.m., which requires for me to be up at 4. Because between my communication between me and God, here's how he hit me one day. When you go to a meeting with your dean, or when you go to a meeting with your bishop, or when you go to a meeting with your consortium group that you work with, you present yourself well, don't you? Sometimes you wear a suit and tie, sometimes you wear business class, but at all times you are presentable. Why are you coming to talk to me and you haven't washed your face and brushed your teeth? Get up, put some clothes on, come meet with me and present yourself before me. So the sacrifice is I gotta get up early so I can present myself. Here it is, so I can stay on my routine. No matter what comes, no matter what goes, stay on my routine. I want you to think about the image that you see yourself as in your future this year, okay? Think about and the function in that image that you see yourself. There are some routines you got to start putting in place now in order to get to that image, okay? And to the degree that you can cause those to become habitual, meaning that you don't care what comes, you don't care what goes, you're going to do these. Regardless, who cares, say what, I'm getting this done. I want you to think about those things that you can put in place that can ensure that those things happen. Number two, you need relational accountability. Let's go to that next screen, relational accountability. I'll make it large for those of you at home. Who are the people or persons that will serve as reminders to your why? Who are the people or the persons that will serve as reminders to your why? You said you wanted to get out of debt and that you wanted a 25% threshold over what it is that you're making each month that you want stored in the bank. Who are the people that will hold you accountable to that? Who are the people or persons who will give, that you will have to give an account to for your success or failure to follow through? So, lady for me, she wakes up early. Sometimes she up at 3 a.m. every other day. Okay, I'm not necessarily a morning person. Now I can do the night owl stuff all day. But accountability for me, sometimes she'll get to the edge of the bed and stand at the edge of the bed. And this is how I know it ain't just her talking, that God's talking through her, because she called my full government name. Okay. When are you going to wake up and make sure you get down to the church and cover the congregation to pray? It is always Raymond Johnson. Sometimes it's Raymond, then she puts the J in there. Then I know I got to move now because I know this is God talking. This ain't just her. So she's one of my accountability people. Who are the accountability people for you? I've got workout accountability people. One of them I don't even want to look at in the back of the room back there because when I say I'm going to eat something, he'll just straight out. You don't need that. You don't need that. I'm not even going to look on this right side in the back. So, but what that does is it helps to, if I'm going to spend all this time working out, why am I going to kill it by eating wrong? Right? So I want you to think about who are the people that you can put in your circle. Brother Terrence is another one around you. Who are the people that you can put in your circle? When you have, now here's the big key about this. When you have a difficult moment and you about ready to just quit, throw in the towel, give in. Who are the people that's going to say to you, don't drink that, don't smoke that. You don't need to talk to them. Don't sleep with them. What? No, you don't need a hot boy, hot girl weekend right now. Come on. I just went past her. I'm sorry. You got to have people who will talk to you, who are your friends, who are, here's the big key, write this word down, who are not intimidated by you. They're not impressed with your gifts. They're not impressed with your intelligence. They're not impressed with your personality. They're not impressed with your money. They're not impressed with all the accoutrements of stuff. These are people who are for you, okay? That are not impressed with your idea of who you think you are. That's worth the price of admission. These are people who are for you, who are not impressed with who you think you are, okay? You need them in your life. So that's relational accountability. Number 3, in the midst of all of this, let's go to that next screen. In the midst of all of this, you need release and recreation or recreation. As we go through the process day by day, week by week, month by month, there are moments, we need moments of release, relaxation, and recreation. As we plan, it's important to build that into your plan. So you need moments to build into your plan recreation moments. You need moments to build into your plan moments of release. You need moments to build into your plan how you're going to have recovery. Here's why I say that. Because you're not going, everything I'm saying to you right now, you're not going to get this right all the time. You're not going to get relational accountability right all the time. You're not going to get that moment of recreating all the time. You're just not going to get it all the time. So because you're not going to get it all the time, build into your plan of fitting into the image that you want to be so that you can function in the areas that you want to function in. Build in release moments. So I have splurge days on my eating, but it's only one day. Okay? I have splurge days on my entertainment. Okay? But it's only one day. Right? I have splurge days in terms of my routines that I keep myself into. So if I know I got to prepare my lessons, prepare my words, I stick to those. But then I have some weeks where I say, you know what? This is a great week. And I'm going to get back to that other stuff next week. You got to build that in because we are not machines. Okay? We're not machines. Now, I do want you to be machine-like in your routine, but you're not. You're a human being. So you've got to have moments where you build stuff in. As long as you build it in, it's okay that you already accounted for the splurging. Like, so let's go back to last night while y'all were riding me about the chocolate cake. Did y'all check the chocolate cake down now? Y'all check it out? Y'all ain't seen it yet? I wish Cheryl would come up here. Because if you go into that other fridge, if the whole cake is there, ain't been touched, ain't been messed with. Ahead of time, I said, I'm going to keep myself together, but I'm going to share this cake with the congregation. I'm not going to just eat. Now, normally, I would take that joke home, and it would be... John, don't pay attention to this. Right. So this time I said, okay, we're going to hold Super Bowl party. I'm sharing the cake with everybody. So that I limit myself on slices. Okay? I limit myself on slices. Okay? So I've already built in, come Super Bowl party, I'm having some cake. It'll be my first little bit of sweets for real, since the consecration has been over, but I planned it way ahead of time. So I don't suffer too bad on my workout plan. Build it in. Everybody understand what I'm saying when I say build it in? So this is good. So some of your release and recreation, let's go to that next one here. I'll make this a little bit larger. Exercise, workout, walk, spa. These are just examples. Ladies, you guys have pampering in different ways. Go get your feet, hair, and nails done on a particular day. Do massages. Take travels. Do trips. Have night outs for movies, food, splurges. Have time where you go do that kind of stuff so that you are not some robotic kind of thing. All right? Even in some of the other areas, I wish I could turn this into a quasi moment. Let me go there. Pre-plan some of your days that you're going to go out with. Okay? Plan them out ahead of time. I'm going to get to know some people. I'm going to go to some civic functions, some social functions, some event functions. I'm going to go and expose myself to a different world of people so that you can have access to different environments. This is okay, this is about to be really good. Sometimes you need that so that you know what to stay away from. Sometimes you just need to just go and observe so you can be like, thank God for delivering us. Right? So that you know what to stay away from. So that you know what your type is. So that you can say all the time, I tell a lady all the time, I say to her all the time, I just thank God. I thank God. One time the other day she said to me, well, I don't feel like I'm, she gonna text me in a minute. I don't feel, stop using me as an example with my phone. I don't feel like, I'm some great treasure, some great prize. And I go, well, yeah, but you are. You prize. Okay? Because if you don't have exposure in your working in moments, it's easy for you to get sucked in and to pulled into something that ain't good for you. Financially, spiritually, relationally, emotionally. Come on, am I talking all right there? Yeah. So here we go. So let's kind of work into some of this vision. Let's go to that next one. I'll make this mark for you. Your vision is always your what? Your objectives are your how, your tactics and your strategies, when, where, and with who. What, how, when, where, and with who. As you work into your plan, okay, I would even add beside what, where. I would add the word where, beside the word what. Where am I going? What and where? I would add both. What am I going to do? Where am I going? How am I going to get there? Okay, start working that out into your plan. We're going to talk through that in just a few seconds here. So the idea, let's go to that next idea. The idea is to go back. I'll go back for y'all online too. Okay, so beside goals, I'll put what and where. Objectives, I'll put how. Tactics and strategies, all three of those. When, where, and with who. When, where, and with who. Here's why I want you to write this stuff down. Okay? Because as you get into your work plan of your image, of your function, I want you to have names. I want you to have places. Okay? So that it is, and I want you to, the stuff you're working on, I want you to put this up on your wall in your room or in your phone. I want you to have it down. Okay? So that, because March is going to come, mid-March is coming. End of February is coming. And you're going to have moments where it's going to be easy for you to want to pull away from this stuff. Let's go to that next one idea. Check this out. The idea is to win the day. I keep saying this. Weeks, months, and years. And to the degree that you have it written down functionally, you'll be able to get done what you need to get done. Okay? That's pretty much it for today. I'm going to do a master class, 8 weeks of building it from the ground up. I'm going to do a master class, 8 weeks of building it from the ground up to get really functional with you. Who would like to, for about the next 5 to 7 minutes here, who would like to share a little bit about what your I see myself statement? Who would like to share this? I see myself statement from your homework last night. Anybody get into it at all? You did? All right, come on, Mary, I'll go to you first, and John will come to you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I see myself in a secure, loving relationship.
Yeah.
Being loved the way I desire.
Come on.
And the passion and openness.
Yes.
To see myself with the ability to travel out of the country.
Yeah.
Will.
Yes.
To see myself successful in everything that I do.
That's what listen today. So, putting yourself in the environment, like I said about the events, right? Having a list of what you want and what you don't want, of what you're looking for, what you're not looking for, how it's going to work, how it's not going to work. Standards that you're going to have and what you're going to deal with, what you're not. Like I said before, you had one other one in there, being able to travel at will, that's going to take money. So put your strategies in there of income that's going to come in. I would recommend you got a vacation account that you don't touch. That you have money that's coming in from your businesses, all that you do, and that I'm getting ready to get in there now. You are a benevolent person, and it is great. I love your benevolence. But you and Donna, both of y'all, you can't give away all portraits. You gotta pay for them. They got to pay for them. Because here's what I want you to think in your mind about this. I want you to think about this in this sense. You can be benevolent to some degree, but tie your businesses of your portraits with your vacation at will. When you put the two of them together, which one is more important? The vacation as you want to. So have a volume of what you got to sell in every month that goes into your vacation account that you don't touch. Okay? And then have somebody who's going to hold you, keep you accountable to that. And then somebody asking you, what did you sell? How much did you sell? Did you put yourself in an environment where you could sell some stuff? Because you want to travel at will. Okay? If you do that, come on, we can begin again.
Yes, Coach, we can begin again.
Come on, John, let me hear your I see myself still. Go ahead. Or if you got the statement on what you could do differently.
Yes.
Go ahead.
What I would have done differently was I would have got past my family's normalcy of having just enough.
Yeah.
I would have learned about the value of money, what credit was, and how to invest, so that I can have savings and overflow.
Look at that right there. Give me that first statement again. Give me that first statement again. This is good.
I would have looked past my family's normalcy of having just enough.
Yes, I would have looked past my family's normalcy of having just enough. Listen, we do not have a choice in terms of the families we are born into. Okay? And we really can't do nothing about our last names per se. What we can do something about is the attributes that come along with our family dynamics. We can do something about that and the normalcy that you're talking about, that having just enough. So one part is going to be, this is going to be really good right here. When it comes down to what you do with your money, keep your family out of your business. What you do with your money, keep them out of your business. Don't listen. Just keep them out of your business because they have an agenda of what you should do with your money. You have to have your agenda and God's agenda for you of what you're going to do with your life. Okay? And so the idea of exposure, you hear stuff like, well, you shouldn't try to go after that because that's going to require this, and this really don't fit you like that. And a lot of times, your family dynamics still see you as the 15-year-old or the 13-year-old or the 20-year-old. And you're not that. You full-grown 35, 40-year-old man, woman. Okay? And so that's what I say about attributes. So you want to be able to develop some skill sets to be able to have the transformative change. So one, keep people out of your dynamic in your business, get you a good accountability partner, and then go get you some exposure. Read that Rich Dad Poor Dad. Read that. I got a book back here in this corner over here that I gave out last time we gathered on debt-free living by First Baptist Lincoln Park. He just retired. I'm seeing his face. Soares. Pastor DeForest Soares. Take one of those with you when you leave today. That's got a full zero-based budgeting plan in it. Let me explain that. Zero-based budgeting plan. Make sure he got one. It should be two of them. Give him one of those. Yeah. In the zero-based budgeting looks like this. We oftentimes, as Christians, we believe in living on the 90, giving away the 10, right? Zero-based budgeting is you operate on a cash basis in terms of paying your bills. Do not pay your bills with credit. The reason why is because if you pay your bills with credit, now you're going to have to pay interest on a debt that you owe. You're paying twice. So pay your bills with cash. List them out, greatest to smallest, put them on a spreadsheet. As you do it, cross a line through, until all of your bills are paid. And then what you have left over, take that and split it in twos. 10% you're gonna save for you, 10% you save on a rainy day. This is after your tithe, of course, so that you pay yourself. Restrict yourself to that 10% of splurge. Whatever that figure is. If that means you can only afford to go get yourself a Chick-fil-A meal once every other week, then stick to that. Here's why. Because that 10 is gonna increase in zero-based budget. Because what it's gonna then force you to do is look at how do I bring in extra money so that you still keep the same formula, but that 10 goes from $25 to 100 to 150. That's inside that DeForest source book I just gave. Get you an accountability person. You say, show me what your zero-based budgeting plan is, and then let me walk with you on how you can stick to that. Does that make sense? Is this helping? So as you kind of lay your stuff out, because the idea is you talked about, I want to get past the family stuff, and then I want to learn more about investing. So I would be in every kind of financial workshop I could be in on investing. I know a couple of them, I'll give you a list of those. And go and participate and just sit there and learn. And just sit there and learn. And work that into your schedule. Now, you're a ministry person too, so sometimes you can't be at the Friday night revival service because you're going to be at the 6 o'clock investment strategy and work it out ahead of time in your schedule. Apostle, I'm going to be over here to do this because it's self-empowerment, self-improvement in some areas of your life. Make sense? Everybody good to go? So we'll get to that. Everybody good online? Everybody good online? So yeah, I hear you, mother. Be sure not to blow your budget. Yeah, Mother White watching this morning. She said, be sure not to blow your budget. Look at here today. So having said all of that, I'll advertise the 8-week masterclass, put that together for us. Then we'll get into this and some more nuts and bolts. Where we'll really work through some more. I want you to kind of stay with the homework and the stuff that you got, bring it with you when we get into the 8-week masterclass, and then we'll roll from there. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Everybody good to go? Makes sense today? Mike, I see your inquisitive mind thinking.
No, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, so yours came in the mail yesterday?
Yeah,
Wow.
I ordered it, probably like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I thought it came to the door, but it said it was a mailbox. I only got it.
Yeah. I would, man, and I think there's a workbook that goes with it too. Check to see if there, I think there is a workbook that
I
goes
didn't
with
think it
it.
was like a tiny book though.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a regular size book. It was probably like a book like that big.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so, and it's cool because sometimes I feel good, so.
Yep. That's good. That's good. Perhaps maybe y'all can exchange notes, you and John exchange notes and work with that. Then y'all have any comments today, sir?
Yeah, I'm just observing.
Good. Sunil? All right, thank y'all for tuning in. We'll come right back with the masterclass after this. Share this with somebody. Always remember, you can begin again.